What's up, my people? Back again. Unfortunately, I feel like I let you all down with the video that I recorded last night because you gotta put headphones in to hear me. But no complaining. As you can see, I'm speaking louder, so forgive me if I'm being obnoxious. I just don't know how much of my voice this laptop is capturing, but we're gonna roll with it. So, somebody wants to know. Oh, by the way, like and subscribe. Like as soon as you see me. Um, and feel free to talk to me about anything. Treat it like I'm in the room with you. But somebody wanted to know. Say I don't know how to be assertive with women and or sexual. I almost suppressed my sexual desires probably because my last relationship. I'm afraid to advance with women sexually due to fear of being rejected. Yada yada yada. So I have experience with this, somewhat, and there are many different variations to being assertive. There are many reasons why somebody wouldn't be assertive, and the reason why I tagged Semen Retention Journal is because I'm not really gonna make that a big fixation right now because ultimately it's a tool. All right, so if I'm talking about building houses or whatever, I'm not gonna spend too much time on the hammer, even though you know it may be necessary. You know what I'm saying? So being assertive, what does that mean to me? It means that you don't compromise your being. You don't compromise who you are for the sake of getting something that you think you want. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I realize when it comes to women is that, and this isn't always true, but this is what happens when you compromise yourself just to get laid. What I realize is that once you finally get to the point where you finally got this woman and you're in a relationship with her and all these things, it's not as green as you thought it was from the other side. You were just thirsty, somewhat desperate, man. And that's why a lot of relationships don't work to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing that I don't think I hear enough about because, it's very common for women who have been deprived of what they want in relationships is the fact of the matter is that as soon as a guy who's been deprived of woman attention and validation for so long, as soon as they get it, man, they just go all in. They go nuts. They go over the top, writing these long paragraphs every day that's overwhelming to a woman, and they don't know how to compete with that. They don't know how to keep up with all this emotional overflow. And I understand the logic of I don't want to be playing these games, and I feel you on that one, my friend. I feel you. And unfortunately, from what I've seen, and this isn't necessarily uh the rule, but from what I've seen, it's damn near just a necessary evil, especially in this day and age of social media. So what approach can you take if you feel like you've been going over the top, you jumping the gun a little bit, you can't seem to be patient. Well, what I believe to be a healthy alternative, if for no other reason than to protect your integrity, is to say less than necessary. All right? Keep your mystery. All right? You don't know these women, and these women don't know you. Okay? Quit the fairy tale Disney shit. Let the women do that. So long as you focused on your purpose, and that's priority number one, and your priority number one, and taking care of business, then you won't make a fool out of yourself. All right. Now, once you start putting everything to the side for the sake of trying to deal with women, then you're very much compromising yourself. But when you have the mindset of, hey, look, lady, look, you're pretty and all, you're smart, but look, I got business to take care of. I'm not with all the games. All right, I'm not with all the phone games. All right, If I'm texting you and you're dry, then I'll just stop texting you then, okay? You know what I'm saying? Uh and if you want me to be something uh that I'm not going to compromise that for you. I'm sorry. What you will find is that a lot of women will try to paint this fairy tale of what they actually want until they are given something that's totally irresistible. And even still they would try to paint it out to say, because a lot of women, they when they try to paint their ideal man, when they're living in a fairy tale world and not being realistic, they try to paint the man out to be well, like a goddamn woman. They explain women. And men take the bait all the time. Gotta be, just gotta be what she needs. You know what I'm saying? You're molding yourself to what a woman wants or what she says she wants. Oh, and then when you give her what she says she wants, turned off. Okay, that's a dead giveaway right there. The fact that when you give her what she says she wants and she's turned off by it, what does that tell you? All right, you need something. See, when it comes to the law of attraction, it's like attracts like. But when it comes to attracting something that, like femininity, attracting a feminine woman, you have to be masculine. And having a masculine frame keeps women in that feminine frame. So what's masculine to me? People, what's the conversation now? A lot of people like to talk about, a lot of women and stuff. They like to talk about um toxic masculinity, and I'm not necessarily about to go into what that means, even though I just feel like it's the wrong term or phrase, but because I feel like that's toxic femininity, what they describe, you know, going back and forth with a woman, using your emotions to dictate how, how this interaction is going to go. That's not masculine at all. That's not even hyper masculine. You know what I'm saying? Or did I say hyper masculinity begin, or did I say toxic masculinity? Because I meant toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is, I would think, with no has no balance, has no femininity at all, or very little of it. But again, it's not about that. Um, so what is it about? So since I'm talking about what does it mean to be masculine? What it means to be masculine is that you coming from pretty much a logic base when you understand that people who are mostly feminine, they make emotional decisions. They're emotional, watery type creatures. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say that all women are like that, but don't be surprised if most women you come across are like that. Okay, so you benefit by not going back and forth with the woman. You have to establish mentally from the get go that you aren't going to take the bait. You take the bait, and I'm telling you, you are going to lose. You argue with a woman in text messaging, they send you this long ass paragraph. You trying to get out 3 sentences, and they already sent 2 more paragraphs. They done destroyed your ass, and you trying to go back and forth. At that point, it's just best to keep it short. You know what I'm saying? To recoup, make sure that your emotions are in check, because it goes all downhill from there. All right. It's very easy to take the bait because women can get under your skin. They can really, really test your manhood. And you think you got to defend yourself against women naturally because you grew up, at one point in time you were a child, or or just for the fact that nobody really taught you how to interact with women, because at one point, boys and girls are kind of very much similar, emotional, don't really have much logic, and women become masters of emotion, and you get thrust into positions where you're supposed to be masculine and making all these critical decisions or whatever, but perhaps you didn't grow up with that around you. Perhaps you didn't grow up with a father figure, or you grew up with a father who didn't grow up with a father figure, and so you're extremely emotional. How can I say things like this? I'm speaking from experience right here, and it was a steep learning curve in order for me to get to the point that I'm at now. And I'm still ascending, and I'm still reminding myself, hey, don't go back and forth with it. All right, let it blow over. Let it go. Say what you need to say, but don't say too much more than that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you operate that way, you will find that it will be the woman losing her cool before you do. And so long as you keep holding your frame, stay calm, then you putting them in a position where they have to apologize or they just look stupid, which is much better than um taking the bait, and then you show how manly you can be, and you get real aggressive and your fangs start to show, and you got some bass in your voice, and maybe you're getting a little too close for comfort, and then congratulations. Now she's gonna paint you out as abusive. And hopefully you aren't abusive, but once you take that bait, then the conversation is no longer about what the argument was about to begin with. Now it's about, you're so toxic, you're so scary, you're so aggressive. You take that bait, there you go. Which is a prime example is the thing with Gayle King and Snoop Dogg. You see, Snoop Dogg spoke out against Gayle King over the Kobe Bryant shit. But the thing is, he went too hard. So then everybody comes to her defense, and Gail and Oprah and all them people. They're like, oh, how dare you attack this woman? How dare you do that? And so the conversation is no longer about what it was about initially. And that's how it happens. That's how they get you overplaying it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you're going to take that approach, you have to put them in a position where they remain the people who are at fault. You let them off the hook when you go too hard on them. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? You can say it isn't fair all you want, but that's the life of a man. That's just the life of a man. All right. Now you can go ahead and try to play that beta male shit all you want. You gonna be upset when your girl leaves you for somebody who in their own right has their shit together. All right, they aren't showing too much of their hand. They aren't being overly emotional. They aren't going back and forth with a woman. They still got that mystery about them. You know what I'm saying? They focus on their purpose, and that shit's attractive to them. All right, as opposed to always being available, always wanting to talk about feelings, always wanting to hold long ass conversations saying redundant things, always wanting to send these long ass poems every goddamn day. Like, be spontaneous, man. Have some backbone with you. And I didn't want to say this, but like, when I talk about you losing your woman to somebody else, by taking that beta male approach, and hopefully, if I can remember, I want to speak more on beta males and all. I sad to say, I took somebody from a beta male, and what's even worse is that he took on the role of being in the friend zone. All right, so I like to be very transparent with you guys, so my authenticity is remains solid and robust. I'm always in touch with the truth. So, when it comes to my child's mother, all right, she was a tough, what's a tough safe to crack, I would say. So we started out as friends in 2011. All right, instantly I wanted to smash. I wanted her, okay, and we bonded over our traumas and the things that happened to us, and we had these long ass conversations, and on top of the fact that I was just a pussy, no offense, you know what I'm saying? I was very apprehensive. You know what I'm saying? Like very reluctant, very timid, didn't want to push them away. But on top of that, I formed this type of relationship with her where it was like I would listen to her conversations or her talking about her boyfriends and people that she dealing with, people that she having sex with, and just holding out on my opportunity to finally get with her, finally muster up some courage. Now this was 2011. Now, 4 years, 6 years, no, hold on, 5 years later, I finally decide when I started to see a little bit of an opening, when she started to show more sexual attraction towards me while she was in a relationship with somebody else, I decided, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be in the fucking friend zone anymore. Now, I I painted it out as, because I really want to be in a relationship with you, but you ain't with it, so all right, I'm out. And it was that, but I also wanted to have sex. I mean, the sexual attraction built over the years, man. It was crazy. It was ridiculous, man. Um, and when I decided that, I'm out. I ain't gonna do this no more then, because I have the right to choose. You can try to paint me out to be the bad guy. Oh, because I won't have sex with you. You don't want to be with me. Call it what it is, but I'm telling you my truth. All right. I don't want to waste my goddamn time. All right. I don't want to give you this illusion that I'm always just gonna be available. I got tired of it. And that's after 5 years. I was willing to walk away. Also, by this time, I was listening to a lot of advice on how to get women, or how to get this a particular woman, or how to make somebody leave their man or whatever. So I started to form my own goddamn plan, my own opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I actually owe a gift to a couple people. You know what I'm saying? I think Coach Corey Wayne is probably who really got me over the top. You know what I'm saying? At that point, there weren't as many dating advice coaches as there are now. But Coach Corey Wayne, I listened to him a lot, and so I was just willing to walk away, and just like that, one switch. I could have made that switch in 2011, for all I know, but one switch, and she was like, absolutely not. You are not leaving." And I remember one point she started stalking me. She was kind of stalking me in a sense. This is my child's mother, by the way. you know, uh, so you see how that ended up. But she started stalking me. She even one time she did. I was got in the car with her. She tried to fucking kidnap me. I didn't even have a shirt on or anything. I don't think. She tried to take me to her goddamn parents' house. Her son was in the back seat. Now I'm saying all these things not to clown her, because we're still cool. You see, I made a video with her. You know what I'm saying? We're cool. And if she saw this, I don't know if she'd be embarrassed or not, but she could tell you that I'm not telling any lies. There's no lies about it. All right. So this is why I'm a big believer in making this quick shifts like that. All right. You feel weak, quick shift, start working out. All right. You feel like you lacking manhood, quick shift, stop ejaculating. All right. You want to build muscle faster, quick shift, cold showers, quick shift, motherfucking intermittent fasting. You know what I'm saying? Quick shifts. So that's how you be assertive. You have to establish what it is that you stand for, and you don't waver. All right. Now, I do believe in compromising, but not compromising who you are. Like, for example, I came to the realization recently, maybe within the past 2 years or so, that I'm just not a romantic guy. I'm not romantic at all. And when I, and I won't come back to that, but when I think about some of the ways that I actually compromise myself, like I was in a whole relationship with somebody who was Christian and was mad at me because I was atheist, and was like, if you don't believe in God or something like that. By the way, I'm not necessarily atheist right now, But whatever. At the time, I was atheist. I wasn't with the God shit, and I especially wasn't with the Jesus shit. Um, for reasons that I'm not even about to talk about. But if you don't believe in God, I can't be with you, or whatever. So it's like I was like, okay, well, I'll go to church with you and your father. I'll go to church. I'm like, why would I even do that? For the sake of a goddamn woman who couldn't accept me for who I am. So when you're talking about being assertive, well, if you are trying to force a round peg into a square hole or whatever, like, what do you expect, bro? What do you expect? But you want to shape up your edges so you can fit into this picture. Lose your identity, lose your soul for the sake of a goddamn woman who, after a few years, may come to the conclusion that, you know what, I don't even want this anymore. Because what you may, like I said earlier, what you may find is that women want kind of a mirror of them. They want another goddamn woman. And when they are no longer that type of woman, or they get tired of feeling like they're in a relationship with a goddamn woman, they gonna want a real man. They gonna want somebody who's gonna, kind of manhandle them in the best of ways, in the ways that they find favorable. So don't fall for the illusions, my friend. Now I speak on how to escape the matrix and all of this and that. And this life is a series of illusions. And if you aren't careful, these are one of the illusions that you can very easily fall for. Because let's face it, as a man, the odds are stacked against you as far as getting women. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty top heavy. Meaning, if you're a man of high status, then you won't have no problem with women flocking to you. If you're a guy like myself, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Short, balding, you know, uh, whatever thing that may be working against you, you know what I'm saying? You have to get more creative. Or, matter of fact, fuck being creative. Fuck even trying to pursue women and just pursue your purpose because they're going to come. It's interesting because you hear about it. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. You hear about it, but when you start to see it with your own eyes, then it makes more sense. And I still haven't completely seen it with my own eyes, but it's just very refreshing. So I was uh, watching Netflix the other day on trying to go to sleep, and I was watching something called I forgot what it's called, dropping cash or something like that. It was all these rich entertainers or up and coming entertainers with some money to blow, and they gonna blow it, dropping cash, something like that. And one interesting thing that I heard from Creek Boys is was like because they went to go the Creek Boys. They're from Baltimore. It's a group. They got some singing and some rapping going, and they went to the jeweler, and the jeweler was like, "So yeah, a lot of DM sliding nowadays." It's like, yeah, man, it just worked. Now that we up, everybody just hopping in. All these women hopping in our DMs is really that easy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you're going to put aside the pursuit of women, don't be off some incel shit where you don't you know focus on the bigger picture, the things that truly matter to you, thinking beyond the confines of your reality, thinking beyond everything that you've ever known, everything that you've seen your parents subject themselves to. You know, you think beyond that, the women will come. All right, and why? Confidence. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to have confidence when you're not winning. You know what I'm saying? Although, something that kind of mirrors confidence is indifference, and you can have indifference no matter where you are in life. Um, you know, ground level. Now, I'm not a man with a lot of money at this particular point, but my indifference makes up for that. Where I could, you know, I I could pursue you, but I choose not to. Or I could, I wouldn't mind going to bed with you, but I don't have to. I'm very okay with not having sex if that's the case. I'm very okay with um being alone, not hopping in the DMs. And if you heard me speak before, I've retired from that. I'm not hopping in any DMs uh off some off some romantic shit, off some or even off some sexual shit. If I hop into your DMs and you're a woman, it's probably because I just want to talk about something. What that thing may be, I don't know at this point. All right, I'm just saying. But because I didn't flesh it out all the way, talking about how I'm not romantic. I'm just not. And in my opinion, I don't think that's a deal breaker at all. You know, women think they want to be wine and dine, but I'm very good in the bedroom, and on top of that, I'm just a generous person. So that won't necessarily translate as romantic, but so what? I'm not a roses is red, violence is blue type of person. I'm not a let's wear the same clothes type of person. Although I'm not opposed to it if it's like a joke or something. I don't know. I'm not that type of person. I don't really understand buying somebody flowers if it's just going, wither away in a few days. Like, no, man. Like, I, I think true love, honestly, is fuck. Buy them some stock. All right, buy them some goddamn Apple stock or whatever it is. All right, or whatever stock you prefer. Give them some assets or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, if you want to buy them chocolate and take them out to eat, that's fine. But let it be on a goddamn regular day. All right, ain't got to be no Valentine's Day. People get so fixated on that, and I don't even know why. Like, so what? Valentine's Day. Oh, knowing damn well it's just a means for companies to come up off your ass. They banking on this. I mean, come on now. Some companies make most of their money on Valentine's Day and whatever romantic occasions. All right, but as I was speaking on uh romance and all of these things, come on guys, most marriages fail probably because of money. But you got to understand that marriage is a business decision. You can love somebody all you want, but if you don't go into the mindset that this is a business decision, you're going to lose, my friends. All right? And the reason why I bring this up is because romance is being just shoved down your throat. Romance, shoved down your throat. Buy her an expensive ring, 2 months worth of your salary type shit. Expensive wedding, $100,000. Why would you spend so much money on a goddamn wedding when you can raise that money, invest in goddamn life insurance and assets, all these things that will allow you to retire early. You know what I'm saying? And if the statistics don't lie, a lot of people probably hate their jobs anyway within a marriage. Reason why the marriage is failing because of money. We don't have enough money. We got married out of love, and when shit get real, all of a sudden that love shit really get on the back burner, don't it? You know what I'm saying? Because love is one thing, but you marry out of this fresh hot lust, and the sex is great and all that. Once you start getting married and shit get real, you ain't gonna be having much sex anymore, my friend. So I'd rather not be having sex single than to not be having sex in a goddamn marriage where the love is fucking dying, and it's a terrible business decision from the start on your part because you went at it from a romantic aspect, and let's say you break up and you weren't, you didn't do the prenup thing, and now you losing a little something something, and by the way, I don't know everything there is to know about divorce, but man, it's a true union. It's a true business decision. Like I know enough to know that if you've been married with somebody married to somebody for long enough, maybe I think at least 10 years, 15 years, something like that, then they're entitled to some of your assets when you die, something like that. It's I don't know if it's necessarily your life insurance or what you leave behind or something like that, but they are entitled. Social Security. I believe that's definitely a thing that they're entitled to your Social Security, and I mean, when you die, so what? I mean, okay, I would hope somebody benefits from my time here on this earth when I'm gone. But I'm just saying that's how powerful this union is, and it is a union and something that you need not rush into. And if a woman tries to put pressure on you, or somebody tries to put pressure on you to get married to them, then you really got to come at it like it's kind of a you damn near have to sit down with an ultimatum at that point, and it's like, okay, look, make no mistake about it, love is here, we love each other, but this is a business decision. All right, we have to come together and make and become business owners, business entrepreneur. We got to have a entrepreneurial mindset, and it's like, all right, if you don't want to be a part of the hustle and all that, I can understand that, because me as a man, I don't necessarily mind providing, but you're gonna have to get in where you fit in. How are you gonna lighten the load for me? Because I ain't about to be some John Henry ass motherfucker working against the machine all by my goddamn self, and I'm getting no reward out of it. I get no satisfaction out of beating myself down, and like I can't even recoup with you. Like you no massages, or you not taking care of the kids or cleaning up or taking care. It's a business decision. You gotta hold me down. Otherwise, this operation is not gonna work, and I should be by myself or find somebody else. All right. So the guy also wants to know about being sexual. Um. So with everything that I said, and with the understanding that it does not take much for you to come off as a creep and too aggressive and rapey, all of these things, you have to turn yourself into the bait. All right, an organic thing. So you got to build up your confidence. So we're practicing semen retention, guys. All right, that's gonna help us with our confidence. All right, it's gonna take away from our anxiety. The cold showers, the intermittent fasting, the exercising, all of these things are going to help in that regard as well. All right, we're gonna build our body up. We're gonna work on our posture, the way that we walk. We're gonna make sure that we have our purposes and our go-to things. We're gonna make ourselves very interesting because we want to take interest in ourselves. For some of you, grooming may be the thing. Me personally, I don't care. I don't care about grooming. All right, and the reason why is because people have looked at me the way that I am, and they saw that that was enough. I've even been called attractive, believe it or not, sexy, even. You know what I'm saying? And also with the other things that I say about not being overly emotional, not trying to force the issue, and honestly, being slow to talk about sex. Now, when I say something like this, you know, you may be thinking, oh shit, that's opening up the doors for you to be in the friend zone. But not necessarily. And I'm gonna try to break this down for you. Because when I was in the friend zone, I was talking about sex. I was forcing the issue. I was having these long, redundant conversations, not knowing how to get off the phone, thinking that's how it has to be. Not giving her the feel of mystery. All right. So if you can learn from these lessons in your life and mine, like I just said, learn from these particular things, then you can apply the opposite the opposite to your life. And you make a mystery out of yourself, and you walk like you believe in yourself because you do. You're not faking it. Even if you gotta fake it till you make it. I mean, look. Simply put, if I stay hunched over like this, eventually I'm not gonna feel as confident as I will if I go like this. You know what I'm saying? If I'm like this, I'm not gonna feel as brave or as open if I'm like this. You know what I'm saying? It's a psychological thing. All right, it's a subconscious thing based on our body structure. I don't know why because I'm not a scientist. I've been told this. I've read this. I've experienced it with my own life. You know what I'm saying? People with low self esteem and not a lot of confidence and shit like that, they kind of walk around with their head down like that. Not wanting to be seen. Like a goddamn ostrich, putting your head in the goddamn ground. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, you're opening up the gates to have that sexual attraction. When you talk to women, no matter how attractive they are, just talk to them like they're people. All right? And, well, listen to them. Don't try to mirror them. Do not try to mirror them. Listen to them. I'm trying to tell you. So I had sex with, I mean, by many accounts, just a sexy woman, man. Talking a 9, a 10, albeit a stripper. You know what I'm saying? But just because somebody's a stripper doesn't mean they're having sex with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think about it. Their job is to turn men on and all of these things. So they've been told all types of things. Like, damn, babe, let me take you home. How much it's gonna cost to get this or that. You know what I'm saying? Something that's not part of I don't know, the stripper rules, the strip club rules or whatever. And when a woman is so used to everybody hitting on her or whatever, and also women are very intuitive and they can pick up on your energy, they can pick up on your intent, things like that. When they come across somebody who is just like, whatever, yeah, not really from an aspect of not saying, oh, damn, so sexy, man. Like, what I gotta do I like you so much. You know what I'm saying? Then you really open up the gates for the ball to be in her court. And as I've experienced in this situation, it was one of those things where it was like, after a while of hanging out and just talking and letting her do the talking and venting and whatever, just chilling. Eventually, she got to the point where she was telling me about myself and how she want to, do things with me. And so then it turned out to end up going that way. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, that it didn't work out. I mean, we weren't in a relationship, but we fell off because I can't even say that from an emotional aspect. It's just she kept calling me one morning because at this time I was selling weed. You know what I'm saying? So I was selling weed to her. She kept calling me, like, I mean, back to back to fucking back, and I was just too exhausted. And I was like, I can't believe you did that shit. Like, why you do that? And she was talking about, fuck you. I never heard from her again, man. So, and but that just goes to show, you one decision could kind of fuck it up for you. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, for some reason, I just didn't care that much. And this was back in 2012. So, I mean, I don't know. I Maybe I can attribute that to the fact that I don't know. I was just in love with smoking weed or whatever. That was my girl, I guess. Um, but again, throughout these years, I mean, I was still trying to have sex and have relations with, my child's mother. All right, so I'm 2012 is a little, it's kind of a little foggy. All right, I mean, I was dealing with other women that year as well, so it's hard for me to really recall what was going on. You know, for all I know, this could have been 2013 or something. I don't know. So, but even then, I was being assertive and saying, man, why you carrying it like that? It wasn't the best move, but whatever. Put that aside. Ultimately, And I think it's about time to sum this up. It comes down to you establishing who you are when nobody else is around, and you just take that into the world. All right, you have to be willing to delay gratification, and that's what's going to help you. And just in any event, you apply that to anything, and you're going to win. All right, so you got to be afraid to take some L's. You got to understand the cliche that there are uh, many fish in the sea, or whatever the phrase is. You know what I'm saying? Billions of women in this world. All right, you're gonna mess up with one, but man, like you might mess up with 100, still more. You know, there's still so many more women out there, man. Every time I see a goddamn beautiful woman, I'm like, God damn, it's just does this world ever end? It's just so many goddamn women in this world, and especially when you get your game tight, especially in the bedroom or whatever, it's like the world is really your goddamn oyster. Like I don't like I don't know what the numbers say now, but I think it said there's more men in the world than women. So naturally, you have more competition over a goddamn woman. I don't care about that because that doesn't mean that they gonna have some game. They don't have game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I watched a woman go from telling me that I'm too risky and they don't want to risk our friendship to, well, I'm blowing her goddamn back out. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like I put her down a lot sexually. I just put her to sleep a lot. All right, and that's just the type of shit that you afford yourself when you take on a lifestyle like this. All right, and notice how I spoke for 40 minutes, and I never mentioned anything about disrespecting a woman. I never said, I never mentioned anything about tricking her in the bed. I never said anything about, I didn't encourage you to pretend to be something you're not until you get her. Then, ha ha, here's who I am. I told you to keep that shit 100. I told you to keep it real with yourself and make organic transformations. How can you not win like that? At the very least, you have your integrity, you have your purpose, your dreams, you have your future. All right, you have your freedom. You on the outside because you didn't force yourself on a woman. You didn't turn yourself into a goddamn rapist. Look at you. That's what it means to be a real man. All right, being a mountain. The women are the wind. Stand firm, and there's nothing toxic about that. There you go. That's the answer. And with that being said, like and subscribe, read my books, find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook. I'm not hard to find. You type in my name on Google, you're gonna find me. You type in my name on Facebook, and Instagram, Twitter even, you're gonna find me. Let me know what you want to hear. I appreciate you all. I'm gone.